Wow. Well, that was a lot of
Yeah, that's a
information.
lot of absolutely.
Yes.
So I guess now it is my presentation to catch up from yesterday.
Yes, those of you who were on Ree's talk, I don't know how many of you here were there, but I think a bunch of you actually, quite a few of you were there. She didn't have enough time because of various reasons, but we were going to give her this last 30 minutes, 25, something like that, until about 3:30
Mhm.
and or ish, and then we were going to do our closing drawing for the
Yes.
day.
Thank you so much, Adina. So that's because I went over my timing and didn't time myself properly. And the one presentation that I'm actually doing, it's called From Heartbroken to Empower. And I had so many of the speaker today that really segue perfectly into the discussion of today. One of them, Sarah, and then Dr. Coleman. I got so many concepts. So if you're going through, some people may be going through heartbreak, and I'm thinking like it's not a fun topic, but it's definitely a topic that needs to be addressed because heartbreak can be very devastating. It's like grieving a death. And I just want to make sure that if you're going through it or whatever struggle you may be going through, just know that give yourself time, and it's not something that is permanent. It is temporary. I know it doesn't feel like soothing at all to hear that because you feel like you're dying. But I promise you, you will survive. And I say this because I'm actually going through one of the night deciding whether I stay, do I not stay. And so here are the 8 tips to overcoming heartbreak. So the very first one is looking at your relationship to see what could you actually learn from that relationship. Like take some time to reflect and really look at the situation. Does the relationship, what good came out of it? So if I'm looking in my current situation, been for 3 years with my boyfriend, and as painful and as horrible to think that it may come to an end, I look at the relationship and say, after my 17-year relationship that was toxic, I didn't believe in love anymore. And he came into my life, opened that gate, that wall that I put up so high, and yet broke it down and made me believe in love again. So even if it didn't last an eternity like I wanted to for a lifetime, I still had 3 amazing years. And relationship is meant to teach you something about yourself, to teach you about things that you want, what you do not want, and what it's good for you for the future. So I take it with a lot of love and compassion. And as you go through the stage of grieving, I go through denial to anger to bargaining, actually having to arrive to the stage of acceptance. I'm not fully at the acceptance stage yet, but I am getting there. And every day, some days are better than others, some days are a little bit tougher. So let's go into the first strategy. Like I said, take some time for yourself. It's very important. Self-care is very, very crucial. So that means making sure that you eat well, and that you get your proper sleep, that you get some movement, that you're getting your social if you can, and nourishing yourself spiritually. So, self care, we always hear about it all the time, but when you're going through it, you feel like everything seems like an effort. Just getting out of bed may be hard, but try to do that as much as you can, taking good shower, hygiene, taking care of yourself. So, first thing is give yourself the time to reflect, collect, and then look at the situation as to what can you learn from this experience. Number two is really learning to set really clear boundary with your ex. So really getting rid of all the social media, all of the contact possible, any reminder of your past relationship, places that you go through, friends that you hang out with that will always remind you of your past, which will prevent you from healing. So if you can do that, make it clear. The temptation is definitely strong, but if you list out what those temptations are, when you start feeling weak, you know what to do, what to avoid. So have a replacement. If I start to feel this way, what can I resort as a replacement? And yesterday we joke about it. Do not swallow the poison chocolate. Swallow the good chocolates as a replacement. So set very clear boundary, healthy ones. And so, and like one of our speakers said, setting boundary is not about blocking people away, but it's learning for them to connect with you in a much healthier way that is soothing for you. I want you to also give yourself space because now it's actually the time to learn to rediscover and reconnect with who you are, what you're all about. Because when it comes to relationship, we tend to infuse and take on the other person's personality and then have all of their interests, their friends, and all of this, and then we forget ourselves. So now it's a moment to really start discovering that, discovering what brings you joy, what are some of your passion, hobbies that you used to love, but you kind of put aside, dreams and hope that you may have. So do that. And I will definitely be doing a whole lot of travel because every time I travel, it brings me back to my source, to who I am, to the love of life, the things that really gives me hope. It makes me feel alive again. So that's what when you're going through a heartbreak, it may feel like you're dying. So I know I'm talking a lot. So let me just keep it concise. And so you want to also embrace change. Yes. And I think, yes, I see Christine said that rejection is God blessing. I heard that from a friend as well. I love that. You want to also embrace change. Change may be difficult, but nothing ever happens for no reason. So try to find the good in that. And change may be a good thing. Embrace it. New opportunity that may come, meeting new people, new places, new setting, new skill sets, new knowledge. Look for what is good out of that. And it really goes back down to what Sarah said, positivity, looking forward to the future, find the good that's in it and find the gratitude in that. And then number 6 is let go of resentment and the anger if you can. I mean, at the very first couple of stage, you can be angry, disappointed. Those are all normal feeling. You can feel all of those range of emotion. Oh, that's okay. But then after you feel that, you need to be able to resort to a much healthier emotion. So learning to let go of that resentment will free you from that negative energy that keeps you captive and stuck. And then afterward is if you can, it may take some times, but practicing forgiveness. So forgiving, part of it is forgiving your partner for, all of the dream that you may have that they may have let you down, he or she may let you down. The anger you may feel, or that you feel that this may be a betrayal, but it's all, how do you always say, if you learn, the one thing I've learned is to not take it personal. We often find that when we go through rejection, abandonment, and things don't work out the way we want it to be, we feel like somehow that this is a personal thing towards us. Maybe the breakup is meant to happen for something great that is coming your way. And so it may not be a reflection on you. It may be something that they may be going through. And as much as possible, if you can, I know sometimes we always want to have closure. If you can have that amazing closure, great. I was blessed to be able to have really good, strong friendship from the start. So if it does come to an end, we have an amazing closing for that. So and I really wish that you do have great closing if you can. But if there's no closing that is meant to be possible and reaching out to the person would only bring you more toxic or more detrimental impact on you, write a letter to yourself, empty out what's in your heart and all of the pain and the heartache that you may have gone through without having to seek that closure with them that's going to do you further damage. So it's looking at yourself and being honest. Will I reach out to this person? By doing so, even if my heart wants to, if you know that this is not going to do you any good, for God's sake, please don't do it. Please don't put yourself through it. Don't put yourself in that torture. And the very, very last one is, I do put this into practice, is when you're down on the ground, it's okay to ask for help. And I know it's really hard. And then it's even harder for me, who is a super independent woman and super strong and resilient, to go, I got this shit. But sometimes you don't get it. And it's okay. There are moments when we are a little bit weaker and we need our support system, and it's okay. So I built up my support system to make sure that when there are days when I'm at home and I can't sleep in my own bed, or my mind's plays in the past so much, that I have a place to go to where I feel safe. I have amazing friends that are there for me, who are cooking for me, which, saying, "Could you cook for me?" It's so hard to do, but they're all pouring their love to you. And it's the best gift of having friends is letting them show up for you, because it brings them so much joy. I know it hurts you for saying, "I need help," but it's okay to let people help you, because it's not a sign of weaknesses. It's a sign of strength to be able to know, you know what, right now, I'm not feeling the greatest. So allow people to show up for you, to be there for you, to love on you, because this is what's going to really help you carry through. And the last thing I will end with, oh, I do have another thing, but I will be on time, Adina, this time. Thank God. But the last thing that I would like to share is, my God, I had a blank memory, just went to, poof. Um, Yeah, it left, but it will come back. But I want to be able to say, when we were going through what I cover in the very first day on the summit about heartbreak is like, you have these three feel good chemical that shoots through your brain, and the neurotransmitter of oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin is that when you have a heartbreak, those get completely nearly depleted. Is a stressor on your system. And so here are some ways to quickly help you replace that in a healthy way. So here we go. So the very first one, to replace your level of confidence with regards to your romantic confidence, because we get hit when we go through a breakup. We start questioning ourselves if we're worthy, if we're lovable, if we're attractive. And this is a good, quick way to actually be able to do that. When you go through a heartbreak, please don't jump into a new relationship right away. You need time to reflect. You need time to learn from a lesson, because you don't want to repeat after that the same pattern again, just with a different person. So a really quick shoot of all these three feel good chemical is, a little bit of flirting, innocent flirting, a little bit of attention. I'm not one for this, but it does help some people making out with some other people. As long as you're not in a relationship, it's not so harmful. It makes you feel good about who you are. And then knowing that somebody actually takes an interest in you, find you attractive or desirable, it definitely boosts up in terms of your level of confidence when it comes to loves too. And getting cuddles from your pets to get that love, that instant dopamine pleasures and reward from your pets, and the cuddle that they love you unconditionally will help you make you feel good. Hugs and kisses from your kids is also great. And getting that affection and the social from your friends and family, that they're there, they're pouring the love, it makes you feel like reminded that despite one person may have not think, for whatever reason, X reason, oftentimes there's not really a reason why they left, um, that you are still a very worthy individual, special and attractive and amazing and unique. And so look at all of the amazing quality, even if you may have a hard time naming them for yourself, let the people who love on you remind you of who you are and your essence. And then the other thing that I would say is practice gratitude. I know it's hard when you're going through this. You're like, fuck the gratitude shit. What's there to be grateful for? I'm going through a damn heartbreak. It hurts like hell. I'm like crying my eyes out. But when you have moment of clarity, that means when you get enough sleep and you're actually taking care of yourself, those moments of clarity is to look at it in a way of a Zen way of like, how can I remove the horrible, painful emotion with regards to heartbreak to gain a perspective, like to get a distant, and it's almost like you're looking at a global picture of it. So an example of that, when I look at my relationship, is I love to stare into nature, and then I forget about my problem, and I realize that my problem is so small compared to so many people. It puts things in perspective. I look at my friends who's like got an announcement where her mother just got a diagnosis of cancer, and another person is going through a health issue, and then one of our other friend lost 25K, and I'm looking at my heartbreak and go, what exactly do I have to cry about again? But it's not to say that your pain is not worth honoring. It is, but it's just a matter of putting perspective. So your attitude with regards to your situation and reframing it in a positive way can help you go over that bump. And last but not least, is try as much as possible to engage into fun activities, hobbies that you may have forgotten, writing letters, or like me, it's playing sport. I love sport and doing some art that really allows me some solitary time to think and reflect and just be with myself. Because oftentimes we want to replace with distraction, and distraction may be good, but don't do too much of it, because you really need to sit with yourself and to feel all of those emotions so that you can actually heal. If you try to run away and escape it at one point or another, you're going to have to face it. So might as well start facing it small dose at a time. So I'll end with this. And I wish I had an amazing quote, but I love Sarah's little photo about that heart. If your heart is broken, make an art out of those pieces. And God damn it, I'm going to make a damn art out of this broken piece.
Mhm.
So I hope that the same for you. I love you very much. And may this heartbreak be with ease, and so that you can find the power and the opportunity within it to propel you even to greater heights. So thank you so much. And that's what I do with regards to relationship